Welcome to the Masterclass. This is Marco speaking. I'm going to be just sharing some context as to what you're going to experience before we get into the Masterclass itself. So, this Masterclass was intended to inspire trust in yourself to be able to package an offer that you feel proud to sell. Okay, this is the type of Masterclass that it was intended to help you develop something that is so authentically true to your authentic way of being that you won't feel inauthentic or shy or embarrassed or afraid to be able to communicate the price and to be able to communicate all the value that's inside of this offer itself. That was the original intention. And I believe that we as a community, with all these participants that were here, I believe that we actually fulfilled on that. So, my invitation for you is to definitely get ready to take down some notes, and definitely pay attention in the sense that everything that was shared, maybe you'll experience some form of insight or relatability, or maybe even a breakdown in realizing that maybe you've been undervaluing for your worth. Maybe you don't have an offer right now that is powerfully packaged enough to be able to help you create a sustainable living. And ultimately, maybe you've been playing small in the sense that your offer is not the truest representation of what it is that your worth is and what it is that you actually deserve as you go out into the world and offer your incredible magic to the clients that you are inviting to hire you. I had a really good time producing this masterclass before the actual class itself, and I had a really great time facilitating it. I hope that you enjoy it as well. Obviously, I would love your feedback on it, so you can email me. You'll find my email at the end of the masterclass. And ultimately, my invitation for you is to just let yourself integrate and implement the value within this masterclass so that you can get the most out of it. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to meeting you or hearing from you via email. Thanks a lot and enjoy.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So good to see your faces. Thank you for joining me in today's masterclass. I'm going to be looking here, 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 and here. I have three screens and a camera. So if it doesn't seem like I'm looking here, it's just because I'm navigating all these different screens to give you guys the best experience possible. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. All I need is a thumbs up just to make sure that you guys can see it. So if you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, what do you guys see? Do you guys see the 7-step offer creation process? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm just going to set up this last screen here. So guys, a lot of you guys know me personally and some of you guys don't. I have a bit of a personality where I get like really giddy about things. And the thing that I'm the most giddy about right now is how dope this presentation aesthetically looks. Okay. I'm so proud of what I created. These colors, I was like going by chakra vibes. I was doing all kinds of things. And I was like, I got to make this, it's got to have an energy to it. It's got to feel vibrant. It's got to have love to it. Right. So instead of just black, white, minimal, like I always do, I wanted to give it some life. So I'm super excited with how this looks. If you guys like the way this looks, drop a fire emoji or your favorite emoji in the chat section. Give me some encouragement. I spent a good amount of time on this, right? So you'll see along the journey, I kept it super color coordinated for the entire thing so that there's consistency. But the branding, I'm like, yo, I have a brand. I'm like, Rena, I have a brand. But no, and all jokes aside, I'm really proud of what I created, and I hope you guys have a really fulfilling experience. So before we jump right in, I want to request that anyone who's not on camera, if you can come on camera, that's really helpful for me as the teacher, because I like to see your faces and I like to connect with you guys. If anybody has led their own Zoom master classes or group coaching experiences, you ever get that feeling when like it feels like you're just talking to yourself and you just feel there's no connection? Well, by you guys showing up on camera, it gives me that feeling of connection. And I don't know, it's weird. Like maybe you guys can relate to this, but intuitively, when you're teaching, you make these gentle assumptions about people when you look at their faces as if you know exactly what they need. And then you start to teach at a different level because you feel a connection to what they could possibly need in the moment. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's something that I've definitely experienced where I feel a connection to the audience as long as I can see them. So, with all that said, let's jump into the session. It's going to be very bang, bang, bang. So, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to be doing a lot of zooming in. Okay. You guys are going to see this a lot. The zooming in is so that we can focus on specific sections of the presentation. Okay. So, we're going to start off with what this actually is all about. So, I'm going to be guiding you through some steps. This is a 7-step process to create an offer, specifically a coaching offer that inspires trust. Chris Dubb, good to see you. That inspires trust in yourself to sell it, and trust of the people that are receiving the value. Okay. So just make sure that you guys understand the distinction. Okay. The trust that you give yourself to sell this offer is equally as important. Do you trust yourself to stand by the value that you're packaging? Right. That's equally as important as earning somebody else's trust. Because if not, if you don't trust the value of the offer, if you don't trust the pricing of the offer, there's a good chance that you're going to project your financial insecurities on other people energetically, and then you're going to potentially lose the sale or lose the trust, and then convince yourself that you're being salesy, when in reality it's not that you're being salesy. It's just that there's energetic clearings around money and what it means to you that has to be cleared, right? So just remember, this offer is intended to help you trust yourself with this much value. Okay, trust yourself with this much value that you're going to accumulate, as well as the trust of your ideal audience. All right. So, step one, we're going to talk about the value of your offer. Now, this is an integration workshop. So, you guys are going to be creating with me on the go. Okay. So, there was a link in the email to download the workbook. If you have the workbook, please let me know in the chat section. I have the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, then type it in the chat section. I don't have the workbook, and I'll share the link to download it right now so you can participate. If you don't want to participate with the workbook and you'd rather just pay attention, that's totally okay as well. Okay. So I'm just going to look in the chat section real quick to make sure that everybody has the same tools to participate in this experience. So we got it, got it, got it. Now, if somebody, my people, if you want to type got it as GODIT, those are my people. Got it. I got it, right? I got it. God's got it. We got it. I got it, right? So that's part of my Godfidence theory and analogy. So I got it. Doesn't it feel good to say that? I got it, right? Yeah, I see the smiles. You guys got it? Okay, cool. You guys all got it. So we're going to start with the value. Then we're going to get into developing a proof of concept. Then we're going to get into the benefits and outcomes of your offer. Then we're going to get into the pricing of your offer. Nick doesn't have it noted. Then you're going to get into removing the risk. Nick, do me a favor as I go through the itinerary, check your email. Inside that email, you'll see the link to download the workbook. It was an email from Eventbrite. Then after that, we're going to go into the pact. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. The pact is the service agreement that you're going to make with your clients, the packaging. And then I'm going to give you guys 2 bonuses that I'm really excited about, which is bonus number 1 is the closing checklist. And bonus number 2 is social selling skills, which is another epic like training on how to sell through Instagram stories. Okay. Now I'm going to give you guys a quick dump. This isn't part of the itinerary, but I'm excited. So write this down in your notes. Number 1, sell through Instagram stories. Instagram is to sell your offer. Don't use it so much just for your life updates, but also life updates paired with the offer is how people are buying online right now. Okay. Believe it or not, Instagram stories is where you pitch. That's where you sell the offer. Okay. This goes for Facebook stories as well. Now, your posts, your actual feed, that's where you share micro steps or micro information about what it's like to work with you. What type of value do your clients get? This is where you share wins. Okay. This is where you share what it's like for your clients to work with you so that people can get a sample or a preview of your wins and of your life and what it's actually looking like. Right. So the posts, that's where you share little samples of what it's like to work with you. Okay. Now, the DMs, let's say in your Instagram stories, you put engagements like poll, sticker, question, anything like that, where you can actually get people to say, to click and chime in on their opinions of things. DMs are to build trust, right? So you use your DMs to build trust. Okay. So many of the sales that you're going to make with this offer that we're creating today, the sale is going to happen in the conversations that you have in your DMs before you even get on a call, right? So you're going to actually sell in the DMs. If anybody is used to selling in the DMs, just let me know in the chat section being like, you're so right, bro. I totally sell my shit on the DMs, in the DMs before I even get on a call, so that when we get on the call, it's literally like me and my soul sister having a conversation about something that was inevitable in the universe, right? It was like we both knew this was going to happen because the way that rapport was built inside of the DMs, right? So if you're used to selling in the DMs, you're used to building rapport in the DMs, let me know in the chat section if that's something that's worked out really well for you. And then there's the actual social engagement. People forget that social is about community, media is about content. So social media is about community and content. So if you're not engaging with other people's content, right, every single day or 2, 3 times a week, and showing people like, hey, I value you, it's very difficult for people to feel any desire to come and value your page, right? Your Instagram page is literally your website. Your highlights, where you highlight your stories, those are all of your offers, right? So that you don't have to keep pitching and pitching. People now instantly, when they visit your Instagram, they see all your offers in your little circle highlights. That's where you put your offers, because you're selling in your DMs, you're selling in your stories, and then you're building rapport, trust, and credibility in the DMs. And then from there, you're using your feed to actually demonstrate what it's like to work with you, right? So that's a quick little tip for you guys, a quick little 4-step formula, just to help you guys kind of get some insight into what's possible for you around social selling skills. And then last, I'm going to end with just teaching you guys what I have next, my next masterclass. Okay. So with your permission, can I get started and jump into the goods? Yes or no? Say yes with your head. Yes. All right, let's jump into it. So you got the workbook. Who invited you? Like, how did you get here? Who are you people? I'm like, how did you get here? How did you, who are you people? How did you get here? Who invited you? All jokes aside, I applied a pretty ninja strategy to get you guys in here. And I'm going to be sharing that strategy on Facebook Live tomorrow at 7 p.m. This whole thing happened because on Thursday night, I went live on Facebook and nobody showed up. And I got tired of talking to myself for 10 minutes and I bailed. And then I made a post about it being like, guys, nobody ever comes to my lives. And then I had a bunch of people show up and give me these suggestions on like how I can pack my lives. And one of the girls, Samantha, I don't know if Samantha's here, but Samantha was like, hey, here's how I just, made X amount of money using Eventbrite to do a little masterclass. You should do the same thing. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Okay, I'll do it. So I went on Eventbrite 2 minutes later, uploaded the details for the event, and then uploaded the masterclass. And then I applied a specific strategy on how to actually, quote unquote, sell out this strategy. So first I capped at 25, I had to extend it, then it capped at 40, then I had to extend it, and then I had to cap it at 50. And we ended up with 42 or 43 people registered for this event, right? So pretty cool. So if you are on Facebook, add me on Facebook, Marcos Mendoza. At 7 o'clock, I'll be essentially sharing that strategy because it's a pretty ninja strategy. Now, why are you here? I really want to know, because if you tell me in the chat section, I'll plant it as something that I can make sure that I tend to as I go through this training for you. Okay, so just share, why are you here? Because I'm curious, because I want to make more money, because I don't have an offer, because my offer is not converting, because I'm just curious. Like, what is the reason that you guys are here? Let me know in the chat section. While you guys refine my offer, work on converting, and level up myself. Reshaping my main offer right now and using it with the latest. Got it. Get a better offer, create more urgency in the decision-making process. Support you along the way, pick up some great tips. Support me. Amazing. Thanks, Jane. Jane is iconic, her and her husband. If that's the Jane I'm thinking, iconic people. Procrastinating on my new offer and this, okay, cool. Amazing. I'm gonna do things right the first time. That's amazing. Building an offer, awesome. All right, it seems like you're all in a really nice place, a really right place. Yeah, okay, cool. Building clarity and alignment with the offer, perfect. All right, so let's help you guys get clarity, going public, curious and learning, love that. One thing I'll say is, because I know a lot of you guys, I just wanna say that we have some very gifted people in this space. Some very, very gifted, very, very, very special human beings inside of this container right now. So I want to acknowledge all of you. I have a personal relationship with almost every single one of you. If I don't have a personal relationship with you, I intend to. So let's just make sure we connect on social. But for those of you that I do know, I'm honored to have you guys here. So thank you. I love you guys so much. You guys are really special people. I really mean that. Awesome. Okay, guys. So let's jump in. So this is a masterclass. This means that I'll be teaching you what to integrate so that you can leave this session with more value than you came in with. Okay, so do the writing prompts and create your own offer. After the class, if you want me to review the offer, you can invest into a 90-minute session with me to prepare your offer for its next or first sale. Okay, so it's a masterclass. Masterclass is I'm teaching you masterpiece information. Okay. This is very valuable information that if you integrate it right now, you can leave this experience with an actual offer that you can start selling. If you feel like you don't have an offer that you're comfortable with, or you package it by the end of this call and you're like, okay, I want to sell it, but you kind of feel insecure about it and you want me to review it, I'm happy to invest 90 minutes of my time, energy, and experience into helping you do that. Okay. That's as far as a pitch will go. Okay. So I want to give thanks. I'd like to thank all of you for attending this class. One of my dreams is to teach, and these cherished opportunities are a dream come true. So thank you for trusting me with your time, your energy, and your attention. I'd also like to thank all my virtual mentors, coaches, and teachers that have helped me apply this knowledge into my business to help me manifest a lucrative living. So thank you to all of them. And I'm talking like everybody from Brian Tracy to Alex Hormozy to Giovanni Marsico to Jackie Dumaine to everybody and anybody, to Reno Rovinelli in the Momentum membership, to everybody and anybody that has ever inspired me and has served me, to everyone that has contributed to my success. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd like to thank God for giving me this mind, this body, and this soul to be here with all of you as we use this information to help us drive our dreams into reality. So thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, source. Thank you to this supreme power that I've yet to actually meet in person, but I feel it very alive in me. All right. So thank you, God. So we're going to start off with a little prayer. This is a prayer intended for all of us. Okay. So if you want to read it, read it. I'm going to say it out loud and play some music in the background. Just let me know if the music is being overpowered by my voice. Dear God, thank you for blessing each of us with the power to learn. I invite you to close your eyes for this if you want. Thank you for gifting us the breath of life. Thank you for instilling dreams into our imaginations. Thank you for the bodies we live in and the minds we expand. Thank you for giving us the courage to think big. Thank you for choosing us to fulfill on our missions in life. Thank you for bringing us together in this container and for giving us the tools to manifest our wildest and most intimate dreams. My intention as I lead this container is to add tremendous value, earn the time, trust, and attention of these people, and serve them to the best of my ability. Please bless them with all the courage to embody their worth and the power to believe in their goodness as a superpower. I ask that you move any scarcity out of their minds and help them learn to listen from a place of lucrative love of self. Amen. Aho. And let's rock and roll. All right, my friends, was that too loud? No, it was good. All right, let's do it one more time. No, I'm joking. Let's go. So the benefits and outcomes. This is what I designed this for. To have a packaged offer ready to sell. So let's eliminate any guesswork related to whether or not your offer is worth the money, time, and energy that your clients are investing in it. Okay. Number two, challenge your existing beliefs. I'm here to challenge and upgrade your beliefs around money, your worth, and the value that you are exchanging with your clients for money. Number three is simplified metaphors and analogies. This masterclass has been designed through a storytelling format to help you easily understand each of the 7 components. We'll be using the hero's journey analogy. Okay, so you're going to see what that is, the hero's journey. If you know about the hero's journey, just say, I'm a hero. Just say it in the chat section, I'm a hero. And then lastly is to inspire trust in yourself and others. This masterclass was designed to heal any and all objections that you may have about your own offer. By using this framework, you'll help yourself believe that you are somebody that would pay for your own offer. This way, you won't project your financial insecurities on others when speaking about your offer to future clients. Okay, so shout out to the heroes and the heroines. Love that. Love that you guys are aware of that analogy. Okay. Is everybody clear on what we're going to be doing? These are the benefits and outcomes. Okay. We're going to package an offer. We're going to challenge existing beliefs. I'm going to be giving it to you through simplified metaphors and analogies, and I'm going to inspire trust in yourself and others so that you can become the type of person that would buy your own offer. Okay. So that's even if your offer is 25,000, 50,000, 100,000. The reality is the price doesn't matter to the right person. Can I get an amen? The price doesn't matter to the right person. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Right. And I'm going to prove that to you guys in today's session. All right. So before we get in, you should probably know why you should probably listen to me. So here's some quick stories. So I started selling door to door, telemarketing, and mixtapes. All right. So I used to go door to door through every season imaginable, selling for energy companies. And I used to like dress like I was part of like Enbridge or something and be like, hi, I'd like to check your electricity bill because there's a thing that we're going to modify and da da da. Right. And we used to go door to door to door to door while people were eating dinner. It was the worst. I hated it. I hated it. It was so bad. Door to door to door, like modifying people's hydro bills and electricity bills. I hated it. Then I started selling knives, right? Door to door and through referrals, Cutco. I used to cut pennies with these magical scissors and create flowers out of copper. It was incredible. But these knives were legit. So I used to sell a lot of knives, and that was an amazing experience as well. I also worked for collections. Okay. I was the guy that called you guys. I was that guy that called you guys and was like, hey, where's the money? Give me the money. Give me the money. So give me the loot. Give me the loot. That was me, guys. I was actually working for collections. It was brutal. They would give you cold leads, like a stack of cold leads, and teach you all these manipulative techniques. And the HSP in me, highly sensitive person, would literally die inside every day at work because I was so inauthentically positioned in a place where I was desperate for money that I had to sell my soul. Oh, no, that's not what we're doing here. Okay. I used to sell mixtapes and DVDs. Ludacris made it. Ludacris sold mixtapes and DVDs out of the back of this car. So I was like, I can do it. I can sell mixtapes and DVDs. So I started selling mixtapes and DVDs. I always made enough money to pay the bills, but I never had enough money to actually save or become anything, more than what I was. And I never sold anything over $1,000 directly. So that was my experience growing up with sales. 2016 to 2019, I barely made $40,000 a year in my coaching business. So I started with small coaching bundles valued at $997. I priced programs based on what I thought was fair to others. Okay, it's just say me in the chat section if you price your programs based on what you think is fair to others. Like this is fair, it's fair to them, right? They can afford this. This is accessible. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I used to charge by the hour. Okay. If you're a coach that charges by the hour, just say I charge by the hour. Okay. Just say you charge by the hour. That was really difficult, charging by the hour, 75 an hour, $80 an hour, 125 an hour. And then eventually I was like, I'm worth $300 an hour. I can do this. I'm going to charge by the hour. Right. That didn't work so well, charging by the hour. Highly recommend you do not start your coaching business or transfer into charging by the hour. And I'm happy to explain why. Experiencing being overworked, undervalued, and burnt out. So charging by the hour actually was something that, because the lack of leads and the lack of energy and time, energy, and investment to people on the hourly model, which was such a small number, 75 to $150 an hour, like that literally caused me to die on the inside. Like I could not sustain my business. I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. I kept thinking to myself that there has to be a better way. Eventually, I raised my rates to justify how hard I was working. Okay. So how hard I was working meant I was so overworked and burnt out and at capacity that my nervous system was completely shot. And at the time, I didn't know that it was my nervous system that was completely dysregulated or deregulated. But all I knew was that I was barely surviving, and everything that I had in my blind spots around my worth, you don't know what you don't know. So I didn't know what I didn't know because I didn't know what I didn't know. So how can you know what you don't know if you don't know? Right? Well, ultimately, what happened to me was I had to keep hitting the wall until I finally realized, why don't I just raise my rates? So 2020 to 2024 is when things started to really pick up. I made $2 million in revenue for selling all my one-to-one coaching programs. And that's where things started to really pick up. Like the justification for raising my rates because I was so burnt out resulted in raising the rates to $5,000. My first client, who I actually charged that first $5,000 to, he actually went on to build a $25 million business in the coaching space. He's one of the biggest coaches in the world right now. And I get to wear that as a badge of honor and be like, I was there. I was there. I contributed to that. So then my offer went up to $10,000. And as the value I offered increased, so did the belief that I can fulfill in delivering more value. And then rates went up to $15,000 and then to $30,000. And as the testimonial stacked, the reputation improved, my time became more valuable in the public eye, and so did my energy. Bundles became $50,000 to $120,000 a year, and the rest is history. So that's my story. I don't think a lot of people know my story. I'm such an emotional marketer that I just share spontaneously what's in my space, but I don't really package my story. But this is my story. This is actually the come up on how I've become a ninja at sales and where Coachable came from. Okay. So, with that said, let's begin the actual training. So, I modeled this training after the hero's journey. Okay. The hero's journey is essentially a journey that a hero in a movie or a book goes through, and they go through this experience where they're given a task, they're given an opportunity, they're given a calling, a download, something. They're being given a mission, and then they have to equip themselves with the insight, the strength, and the tools to be able to go out into the world and pursue that mission. And along that mission, they're going to be, essentially going through all kinds of different challenges. Now, what I invite each of you is to imagine your ideal client in this moment. Okay. They are the hero of their own journey. You are the coach, Sherpa, or guide that's going to guide them through this experience where they're going from their ordinary world, which is their call to adventure, which is essentially, guys, I don't know what it is, but I can do better. Your ideal avatar knows that they want to do better. Your ideal client has big dreams, big goals. Your goal is to equip them so that along the journey, they have everything they need to increase the perceived likelihood of their achievement. Your goal is to increase their perceived likelihood of achievement. So you're going to be their Sherpa. You're going to be their Gandalf. Okay? So that's the analogy that I'm inviting you guys to take on. If I'm speaking too loud, let me know. I get excited, or the mic just could be really, really powerful. So just let me know in the chat section. I'll drop it. Okay. So you'll see number 4, meet the mentor. That's where you guys come in, right? And then they got to go through all these different experiences, act 1, act 2, act 3. So your offer is the ultimate offering to assist your ideal client on their journey. Each of the 7 steps that I'll be helping you create are intended to assist your ideal avatar along their journey towards becoming the hero of their own story. If you don't know who you're serving, you'll struggle to create an offer that aligns your core values with their core needs. Guys, write this down. Write this down because this is a game changer. When your core values align with their core needs, a sale is made, a star is born, a possibility is established. Now, let's say when your core values align with their core values, that's another opportunity. That's when rapport is established. That's when they trust you. In slang, that's when they fuck with you, right? Where they're like, I fuck with this guy, right? I love the way this person thinks. So when your core values align with their core values, rapport is established. When your core values align with their core needs, that's when usually a sale is made, a possibility is invented. So how do you do that? Well, we're going to get into that with the offer today. So what I want you guys to do right now is just type out who you serve in the chat section, right? So the sample prompt in the most basic form is, I help who do what in time frame or less. Jackie, I'm looking at you. I challenge you to write this out because I know that you're going through some serious transformation right now. So I help who do what in, put the time frame or less, in 6 weeks or less, in 12 weeks or less. This isn't permanent. Don't worry about it. This is just a framework so that you have something to work with to pair your offer to. So for example, Rena, I help aspiring speakers build their brands in 6 months or less. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys can go ahead and just type that in the chat section. I won't continue until I see every single person has participated. Let's go. We have some pretty amazing people, guys. I've been saying it. Like, look at this. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Superheroes, devotional people. You know how hard it is to be a coach emotionally, internally, to take on such devotion, such commitment, such integrity to practice excellence, to hold space. You know what gives the coaching industry a bad rep? It's the coaches that are actually being the facade of being marketers. Real, true coaches are die-hard coaches. It's when the marketing gets involved, like everything gets a little complicated and blurry. There's real marketing stuff out there, Tanya. All right, let's do 15 more seconds. I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create their personal brand in 1 month or less. Okay. Just remember the timeline. The timeline, I put it there as just a reference, guys. Kick-ass talks in 6 months or less. Very cool. Kick-ass talks. I like that. Very cool. All right, guys. So now that you know who you're serving, now that you can imagine, like, okay, this hero that's about to go on their journey, what we want to do is we want to apply the following steps to assist these people along their journey. Okay. So what are we going to offer them so that we can earn their trust to be like, yes, please, I trust that the way you're going to guide me is going to help me get to the goal that you guys wrote out. Okay. So here we go. So in the case that you guys don't know about the hero journey, Samza, let me know if you want me to shoot a coffee your way or something. I'll hook you up. Okay, no problem, no problem. So popular hero journeys. So I watched The Devil Wears Prada 2 nights ago for the first time on Saturday night. And I was like, this movie's so badass. I loved it. I loved The Devil Wears Prada. It was so good. And I realized that Andrea, the main character, she's the hero of her story. You know, Emily was her Sherpa, which was the first assistant, right? Even though she was kind of mean and bitchy, she was still her Sherpa. And then Meryl Streep was like the villain, right? So the hero journey, in this case, the hero of The Devil Wears Prada is Anne Hathaway. The Last Airbender, which just came out on Netflix, Aang is the hero, right? And Gyotso is his Sherpa, right? And then Lord of the Rings, we got Sam and Frodo, heroes, and then we got Gandalf and the rest of the fellowship that are actually their coaches, their Sherpas, their guides, right? So keep these analogies in mind as you start to go through this journey, okay? Because the hero of the journey is your ideal client, right? Your ideal client has a destination to get to, and you guys are going to help them get there. So let's start with step 1. So this is what I want you to write down either in your notes, in the chat section, wherever you can save it so that we can start packaging your offer. So what is the value or tools that you will provide your client with to support the likelihood of them arriving at their destination or achieving their goals? Okay, so Knowing where your avatar wants to go and what they want to achieve, heal, or experience, what are the tools that you're going to equip them with for their journey ahead? Okay, so here's some examples. Are you going to provide them with on-call accountability via WhatsApp or Voxer? Half-day in-person training sessions, let's say once a month throughout a span of 6 months. Unlimited Q&A via email so they could always feel like they have access to you along their journeys. One-on-one weekly calls, bi-weekly calls, lifetime access to your programs, a certified guarantee of success that they'll arrive to their destination or achieve their goal, right? Grace periods and time extensions, right? Maybe it's a 6-month container, but they're going to need some space in between. They catch a cold, something happens, somebody passes away. Maybe they'll feel safer making the journey, knowing they can pause for a little bit, right? Extended coaching containers where you extend the time. So if it's a 6-month container, you tell them you have an extra month on the house because you paid in full, right? A completely customized protocol, right? Maybe you've completely designed how they're going to arrive to their destination because you completely customized their experience. Or maybe you're just giving them flexibility, compassion, and care because you're a hardcore lover of this work and you just love holding space and being a guide and being a legitimate coach for them, right? So what you're going to write down is the value. What is the value or tools that you will provide your client with to support the likelihood of them arriving at their destination or achieving their goals? Okay, you guys are going to have 2 to 3 minutes to fill this out. Okay, so what is the value or the tools that you will provide your client with to support the likelihood of them arriving at their destination or achieving their goals? And Nick, if you look on the right, you'll see all the different types of value that I offer. Let me see. Let me know if you can see that. Hit me.
So the way I'm approaching it, writing down what I currently have, but also things that I would like to add on to the program. Is that what you suggest?
Yeah, you can do that for sure. Yeah, it's going to end up filtering. By the end of the offer, you're going to end up making it so much more simple. So just add whatever you guys feel is necessary, and then you can filter it out. Nick, let me know if you see the examples, and if not, you jump on. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool. That works. Okay. So think about it this way. Here's another way to put it. What is the unmatched value? So write down the type of value that really can't be compared to by anybody else that does what you do. What is it about what you're offering that guides them to get the results, right? What is it that's included in your offering? That's the mechanics of what you're offering them. That's another way to look at it. If anybody needs more time, just say time in the chat section, and I'll give you guys an extra 30 to 45 seconds or a minute. Jackie, got it. Yep, hit me.
The question is, in terms of how you're packaging this value section, are you including bonuses
Nope.
or, for example, like a welcome package that you might mail to them?
No, think about it mostly as like, what are the tools that you have in your toolkit that make you a specialist at helping your ideal client?
Okay,
perfect. We're going to get the bonuses in steps 6 and 7. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Rena, if Rena's here, Rena, can you unmute?
I sure can.
Rena, how's my time? Am I going too fast?
You're going as fast as I go, and I realize now that that's really fast.
Okay, I'll slow it down. I'll slow it down. I just, number one, obviously, because this was free, So you're just like, oh, people are gonna leave, right? And you really want to help people, right? So there's that urgency in me, right? Which I can tone that down. But there's also the excitement of like there's so much juicy stuff to talk about and I can't wait to get through it all. So that's why I think me and you share that. We're just
You know,
excited. We love the work that we do, so we get excited about it.
you know what's interesting, Marcos, is I'm watching you because we give people these tasks for 1 to 2 minutes, and then like I realize being on the other side now, you really need to sit and think for a minute or two. It doesn't go as fast as we on the other side feel it is. So it's a good learning.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. All right. So if you're not finished, like I said, guys, we can always have a conversation about this stuff later on. All right. Next, proof of concept. So what is it about your offer? I like the speed too, but it's because I have a pro. Okay, cool. The speed helps overthinkers. That's me. Okay, cool. Proof of concept. What is it about your offer that makes it credible? Is it your authenticity? Is it your promise? Is it your guarantee? Is it your process? Is it your community? Is it the results you've got in others? Okay, so you're going to list the various elements that prove, quote unquote, that your offer can support your avatar on their hero journey. I say the word prove very loosely, mainly prove it to yourself. Okay, mainly prove it to yourself. Okay. So here's some examples. You can write down testimonial. I have testimonials. I give my clients a certification or a reward after they've completed their journey. Okay. Your personal story. I don't care if you didn't go to school to be a coach, but if your personal story relates to their current living story and you have the integrity to support your personal story by telling them that you're not a certified coach, but you want to help them and that's the distinction that you're communicating, then you can help somebody. And if that person agrees to be in the container, then there's still integrity in that. You don't necessarily have to be a certified coach in all aspects. Okay. Tony Robbins wasn't a certified speaker or a certified practitioner. He just went out there and he started doing it. Right. And then he got certified later on. Right. So there's a famous example. So you might have a unique approach that has been proven. Right. So think of like a famous Weight Watchers protocol. I don't know, right? That's like, oh, well, the method works. It's a unique approach. The method works. They built a brand because of their unique approach. You might have a really unique video sales letter because you have a funnel that's running and it's helping people all over the world. You might be giving a free coaching call, free trial to a membership. Think about it this way. When you guys went to Chat GPT for the first time and you typed in, hi, Chat GPT, tell me all about Winston Churchill and his entire reign as the president and da, 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 da. And then ChatGPT was like, and gave you all this information. That's proof of concept, right? So my invitation for you guys is how can you include proof of concept, a sample, a taste test, as I call it, right? A taste test of what it is that you offer in your value. Okay, so what is the proof of concept? Is it a coaching call with you where you completely blow them away? Right? Because it could just be that. Right? Is it an event that you invite them to, a complimentary ticket? Right? You go to this free event called Speaker Slam and you're like, oh my God, this event is amazing. And then you sign up to be a speaker. Right? Or you go to like Giovanni's Archangel Synergy Group and then you pay $3,000 and go to his events, right? Proof of concept. How can you demonstrate that your offer works? Okay, who needs more time? Just write time. After speaking to the subject. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because you have a unique methodology that you've introduced them to. And if anybody needs help, feel free to ask after they hear me speak at an event. Yeah, absolutely. That's proof of concept. So if you have those videos or you have that audio, absolutely, that's proof of concept. That's proving that your offer is credible. I'm just going to check in with anybody that's not on camera. Hi, how's it going? Hate to call it out. I would love to see you guys. Hey, what's up, Nick? Thanks, man. I think Ella is here too. Where's Ella? Coachella? Who else is here? We have 28 people here. Hi, Ella. I love you guys. All right, we're gonna do one more minute and then we're gonna move on to the next part. Marco's friend of Michelle. Oh, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Proof of concept. All right, let's go on. Here we go. Benefits and outcomes. So this is where you support your avatar with details about why your product is the ideal system, tool, quote unquote, sword, or quote unquote, thought process that will increase the likelihood of them succeeding on their journey. Tell them what they can anticipate during the process and as a result of having your offer with them along the journey. So you're going to list 3 benefits and 3 outcomes that you can give your avatar for taking this journey with you. Okay. So list 3 benefits and 3 outcomes. So it's like, for example, you'll see on the right there, you'll experience an increase in, or you're more likely to, or you will gain more, or you will release X. How you doing, Bree? You all right? All right. Love you too. Let me know if you need anything from me. Just send me a private message. Tell me if you need me to go faster or play more inspiring music or something. I'll hook you up. All right. Take a stand for. I will help you celebrate your. You will book more. Take back control of. You will learn how to. Those are some examples of how to start writing out the benefits and the outcomes. Okay. My camera, I'm just going to change my camera battery. I'm still here. All right. So this is a really fun part, guys. List, like, this is where you show off. Oh, baby, working with me, you're going to do this, this, this. You're going to get this, this, this. You're going to experience this, this, this. This is where you totally show off how excited you are, because this is what you've committed to. This is where you load it with the juice. What are the benefits and the outcomes? And if you have enough time, then add, what are 3 assurances that you can give the hero of this story? What are 3 assurances? All right, have fun. I got you, Jackie. me. I just gotta close the screen for 1 second. All right, who needs more time? Chris Dubs, like, yo, bro, you're going too fast, bro. Okay. The distinction between the two. Okay, cool. So the benefits, think about it this way. So let's not create a distinction between the two and just use the examples that resonate with you. And then from there, we can sort it out later. So just use the increase in, more likely to, use those, and then we can sort it out if it's a benefit or outcome afterwards. Benefits and outcomes are two types of insurance, if I'm understanding correct. It could be. Not really. An assurance is more related to a guarantee, which we're going to be talking about. So if you're done, just share in the chat section if you're here because you want to raise your rates. If you're done, just share in the chat section. If you're here, just share in the chat section. If you're here because you want to raise your rates on your offer. The music was super loud compared to your voice for me, but now it's off. Yes. Amy, you're here. Amy, if you come on camera, that would be great. That'd be awesome. If you can't, that's totally okay. Hi. So good to see you. The music was super loud compared to your voice for me, but now it's off. Yes, I paused it. Okay, cool. Just share in the chat section if you're planning on raising your rates. Yes. Okay. Some of you, I'm giving you like the evil eye right now. Like, you better comment. You better comment. She knows. She sees it. Okay, planning on starting my rates. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yes, I'm not sure my rates are high for one-on-one. Okay, cool. My offer is even solidified and raising rates. Love that. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to keep going, guys. I feel like I need to get more clients first. Interesting. Okay, cool. Maybe that'll change when I talk about the price. So here we go. So we're going to start by writing in the chat what the average price of your offer is. Wait, Chris, are you okay? Chris, good to go? Okay, cool. We're going to start by writing in the chat what the average price of your offer is in your niche. So think of someone that does what you do. What do they charge? What's the average? So write it in the chat section. The average. Don't think of the person that charges the most. Just think of like, what's the average? And if you don't know, just take a guess. Be like, I don't know, like $1,000. What the average price of your offer is in your niche. What's the average price? Daria, we're going to go over assurances when we talk about guarantees. More clients first. Part of my reason for being here is to stand stronger than the new bracket I've already raised to, but don't feel completely solidified here. Cool. Expanding the offer, 3,000, 10,000 for 6 months. I'm not clear on my offer. Okay. Let's hope we can price it after this lesson right here. 3,300 to 5,000 for 30 days of coaching for one session. 150 to 1,000. 120 a session. 250 to 1,000. I don't know, but I'm guessing 1,000 per month. Kelly, where you at? Kelly, where you at? Kelly's got nothing. She's got nothing. I see you shaking your head. For coaching programs, 1,500 to 10,000. Hybrid of industries, I want to say 3,000 for 2 months. Okay. $60 to $80 an hour for music lessons. Okay. So here's my invitation to you guys. Price your offer higher than the average offer in your niche and low enough to be paid in full. Price your offer higher than the average offer in your niche and low enough to be paid in full. Premium prices vary on the industry. Some may consider a premium price at 10,000, others at 100,000. You determine what a premium price is based on the industry that you serve. If you don't want to charge a premium price, make your price fair to your monthly expenses subtracted by how many prospects you have in your pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to explain what that means. So what are your monthly expenses? You don't have to write it down, but let's just say your personal and your business expenses. Let's say it's $7,000, right? So you're spending $7,000 a month to live, right? Subtract that by how many prospects you have in your pipeline. So just for shits and giggles, just share how many pipelines you have in your pipeline right now. Just share the number. How many prospects do you have in your pipeline right now? 5, 3, 2. If it's 0, no shame. No shame. It's totally okay. 15 to 30 prospects. 1, 10, 2. Okay, so let's imagine that the reason why you guys are qualifying these people as prospects are because they've already been pre-qualified as people that already know your rate, already know the value. Already know the rate, already know the value. Now write down the number. 2, already know your rate, already know the value they're getting. Already know the rate, already know the value. Yep, yep. Okay. So Chris went from like 15 to 30 to 4 to 5. So 4 to 5 pre-qualified people. These are people that if you get on a call with them and make it work in congruence to what their needs are, you have a sale since they know your price, right? None at the moment. Okay, cool. Perfect. So the reason I'm asking you guys how many prospects you have is because let's say you do or you don't have a marketing machine in place. If you're, let's call it for lack of a better term, like poor at marketing and you don't have your pipeline full of warm leads and you're charging really low, like for example, $60 an hour, then you're always going to be struggling to make ends meet. And that's a lack of integrity to your personal life and a lack of integrity to your business, right? So if you don't have a marketing machine put in place to attract leads, charge a higher rate and offer substantial value so you don't struggle month after month. Okay. As entrepreneurs, we carry so many responsibilities, so many stresses. We got to do nervous system regulation. We got to do energy work. We got to do body work. We got to shut off. We got to do clearing work. We got to ask for help. We got to invest in our education. We got to do marketing. We got to do admin. We got to do finance. We got to do SEO. It's hard. It's hard. It's really challenging to manage that much. And yet here we are undercharging for our worth without a marketing machine put in place and 0 to 5 pipelines, 0 to 5 leads in a pipeline, which if you're not an extraordinary salesperson, you're closing 1. And then we wonder why coaches aren't crushing it, but yet everybody online is marketing 7 figures, 7 figures, 7 figures. The reality, the harsh truth is that there's a challenge put in place when you're pricing your offer, because if you're undercharging and you don't have a marketing machine in place to get you leads, then you're always going to be starving. And that's a lack of integrity to yourself. So the idea is if you have a low volume of leads, charge higher until so that you can stack up money, offer substantial value, build an extraordinary reputation, serve people at the highest level and feel safe in your body and in your business, and then start to offer lower ticket things as you feel safe in your life, as you start to feel safe in your life, right? That's if you're in that situation. If you're in a situation where you have a lot of leads, your marketing machine is unbelievable, you want to charge a premium rate, then great. But if you don't want to charge a premium rate and you're happy with your rate and it's fair and it feels fair for you, then that's perfect too. Okay. But my only thing is that we have to look at is like, if you don't have an offer that is essentially quote unquote paying more than just your bills, then you have to question, are you lacking integrity in your business? Are you lacking integrity in your personal life? Are you lacking integrity in your service model? Is that affecting the way that you show up because you're undercharging for the value that you know you could be giving? I love how you add in all the stuff we need to do on the back end as a part of the price. Yes, because this is everything. This is the work, which is why I said I want this offer to be something that inspires trust in you guys to go out into the world and talk about it, right? I want you to promote your offer proudly without any shame about your price, right? The people that are attracted to you, they're going to be attracted to your enthusiasm, to your self-certainty, to your confidence. It doesn't matter what the right price attracts the right person, but you don't have to have just one offer. You can have one offer sold in 3 different ways so that you never have to turn anybody away. I have offers for $497, for $2,500. I have offers for $25,000. Like, it just depends on what I'm committed to. And it also depends how busy I am, right? So this is how we're going to price the offer. This is what I want you guys to consider, okay? So I invite you to type in this in the chat section, the one point that shows up for you as a breakthrough, as like, oh shit, I never considered that I can price my offer based on that. That resonates with me, okay? So the amount of time you've invested in learning how to teach, coach, create, or serve from a place of excellence and integrity. Number 2, the amount of money you have invested in your personal and professional growth. So just type in the chat section, how much have you invested in your personal and professional growth so that you could feel qualified to go out into the world and publicly promote the offer that you're promoting right now, right? How much money have you invested in yourself and in your business? Just share it in the chat section. Is it 20,000? 200,000. Okay. Good job. 200,000, 100,000, 100,000. Here's how I have it. And you can adopt this if you want. I'm not attached. I'm not telling you to believe this, but if you want to adopt it, you're invited to. If you've invested $100,000 into your business, you deserve to be making $100,000 minimum per year. Or else what the hell did I invest all that money for? Right? It's just that's like equal equivalent, right? Like this is Think and Grow Rich 101, right? $25,000 in the past 3 months, right? So much and continues 20,000 in the last 4 years. My accountant tells me to stop. Yeah, ask my student loans. Exactly. So guys, by default, for what it is that you've invested into your training, into your education, you deserve to be compensated well, right? You deserve it. You deserve it. So the amount of energy you have invested in developing the power, intelligence, intuition, and self-worth to serve from a place of impact and contribution. Guys, I want to know from anyone that used to charge by the hour, but now doesn't. After the hour with your client was done, did you guys just shut off your brain and stop thinking about the client? Just write a big yes or a big no. Did you just shut off your brains like, fuck the client? I'm not working anymore. No. Guys, no. Coaching is a special industry. We are a special breed. Big shout out to our families. Big shout out to our families, our loved ones who literally witness us in devotion, right? In devotion to these people, we have to learn how to regulate ourselves and create emotional and energetic boundaries. But in all reality, we are so invested in these people that we're constantly either holding space, holding them accountable, or innovating how we can serve them at the highest level imaginable. Is that true or false? Right? True or false? Right? They need more support. That's right. Right? So now think about the market's average rate. So for what you're going to be selling, like what is the market's average rate? What are your monthly business expenses? What are your personal expenses? Your personal opinion about what your current price is costing you in your life. Okay, I want you to really sit with that one. What's your personal opinion? How to price your offer? Your personal opinion about what your current price is costing you in your life. The average number of leads that you have in your pipeline. The consistency of your marketing efforts. Your level of skill, capacity, and ability to deliver on what you promise. And lastly, what it costs your client to not have the result you deliver. What does it cost them to not have access to your family parenting training? What does it cost them to not have access to your approach, at a holistic approach at becoming an embodied woman? Right? Like, what is it costing them to not have someone as devoted and committed as you? So I want you to just kind of look at the one consideration. Just consider these points and type it up in the chat section. Which is the one that pops out to you is like, holy shit, like my price is definitely aligned with my worth, or, oh wow, I really need to step up my rate. I really want you guys to just drop into your feminine, just drop into the feminine and just really drop into that. Not the masculine, I deserve more money, but more so like, whoa, I give a lot. I give a lot. Tiffany and Nick. Can you guys share what it is that you guys do real quick in the chat section? Nick, you just sent me a message. Okay. Nick, was that meant to be a private message? Just nod your head yes or no. Yeah? Okay. I remember how I talked about intuitive like coaching where it's like you see somebody in a Zoom and you're like, I feel like I got to talk to this person. I said that, right? I literally spoke to Nick and Tiffany publicly because I was like, I'm catching a vibe. I'm catching a vibe. And then instantly I get a private message from Nick. That's what I was talking about, right? And that's such a beautiful thing in the coaching space is like intuitive connections like that. Holistic nutritionist. Got it. Okay, cool. Okay. So is there any resistance in sharing any of the reasons why we price the way that we price? Is there any resistance to that? All these reasons? No? Okay. So let's go into removing the risk. So the fifth step, a guarantee removes the risk from the purchase and adds bonuses for paying in full that equates to the value of the offer as a whole. Bonuses are incentives to help people feel empowered to pay in full. Combine a risk-free guarantee with a proven process and a bonus, and your guarantee becomes irresistible. Okay? So on the right, you have examples of guarantees. So you have a service guarantee. I guarantee that you'll be getting access to this service, and this is exactly what it looks like. You have a credit-based guarantee, right? I guarantee that, Tiffany, I got your message. Thank you. I guarantee that if you are not happy with the service, then you'll get access to a credit for our future programs, right? Or our future services or future events. The personal commitment guarantee, the release of service guarantee, the money back guarantee, the payment installment guarantee. Okay. So I've included, I'm just going to switch screens real quick, the risk-free guarantee workbook for you guys so that you can elaborate and study these types of guarantees and ultimately choose which is the guarantee that works best for you. Okay. The key is to identify, I'm going to go back to that screen. The key is to identify a client's biggest fears, pain, and perceived obstacles. So you're going to write that down. What is the client's biggest fears, pain, and perceived obstacles? What do they not want to happen if they were to pay you? What are they afraid is going to happen if they were to pay you? What are they most afraid of? You're going to reverse their fears into a guarantee. You're going to reverse that fear into a guarantee, and that removes all the risk. Now it's like, okay, well, I've given you this, plus this, and there's no reason for you to say no. Let's do this. And they'll be like, okay, let's do it, right? You're literally nudging them to take a stand for themselves by removing all the risk and seeing what's at the core of all their objections. There's something energetic. There's something they're not telling you. The offer is polished. It's perfect, but they're still giving you resistance. So it usually has to do with whether or not they believe that it's going to cost them more or less to actually invest into working with you. They're not saying it because they're polite. They're not saying it because they're polite, but they actually have a belief that's like, I'm not convinced yet, Marcos, that it's not going to cost me more if I give you this money, bro. I'm not convinced. Right? So drop in some guarantees into your offer while I talk about bonuses. So as a bonus, you could say, when you pay in full, I'll add an extra month of coaching, right? You could say, when you pay in full, you get to speak at the next Speaker Slam event for free. I'll waive the $2,000 fee if that's what it is, right? Bonuses are incentives that inspire them to say, oh, wow, like I have to have that. Okay. A unique opportunity for the client to benefit from or discount the rate for paying in full and use the bonus as a reward for taking action. Okay, so what does that mean? So if the price of your program is $11,000, tell them that if they pay in full, they're going to be rewarded and get $1,000 knocked off for paying in full, because you like to celebrate that. You want to celebrate and reward them for being an action taker. That's optional. If that's in integrity to your worth, then do it. If it's not in integrity to your values around money, then don't do it, right? Some coaches don't like, some teachers don't like teaching, giving discounts, right? Because it's like a diminishing of your worth. But I like to reward people for paying in full, right? I personally think it's fantastic. It's super exciting. It's like, really? You want to pay 25K pay in full? Okay, let's go. I'll drop the rate down to 23, save you 2K as a celebration of you. Let's go, right? So there's all kinds of ways that you can add bonuses that act as incentives. Now, here's what you don't want to do. Shout out to my boy, Alex Hermosi, for the tips. So you don't want to throw in a PDF. And if you buy now, I'll throw in a PDF. If you buy now, I'll throw in a course. You don't want to add a bonus that's going to give them more work to do. You want to throw in a bonus that's like, holy cow, really? Oh, I can't live without that bonus. The bonus has to be the equivalent, provide the equivalent perceived value. The equivalent perceived value as what they're originally buying. Right? So if Rena was selling a brand development bundle and included a PR commitment from Dan saying, if you pay in full the 25K, you get Dan in your pocket. And he's going to hook you up with PR all the way through your entire public speaking journey. These speakers are going to be like, if I don't have the PR, then what the hell is this for? Right? Make it happen. Exactly. Right? So you guys want to throw in bonuses that truly excite the person to be like, if I don't have access to that bonus, then I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Like, okay, I can come up with the money. I can come up with the money. I have a list. It's not here, but I have a list of where 16 places that people get access to money, right? So that when people are like, oh, I don't have the money, it's like, well, I have some resources to help you get access to the money, and they're all in your pocket right now. I can make some suggestions if you'd like, right? The whole I don't have the money thing, you're just speaking to someone that either doesn't understand the value because you haven't communicated it well enough yet. That's one. Two, genuinely doesn't have the money because you didn't pre-qualify them properly. So you're literally speaking to a wall. I don't know why you took the call. Right? Or three, they really, really need your help in getting out of their own way. And they're really hoping you're really good at what you do in enrolling them because they really, really need your help. They just don't know how to say yes to themselves. They just don't know how to say yes to themselves. They're scared. And that's where you take a stand. I call it the Peter Pan stance. Take a stand. I am not going anywhere until we figure this out. Right? And that's not coming from being salesy. That is the most authentic that you can be if it's pure in your heart. But if you're just looking at people as dollar signs above their heads, you're in the wrong container, my friends. I don't teach like that. Okay? So those are the guarantees. Now the pact, your service agreement. Your service agreement is the pact that you make with your ideal client. Okay, so imagine your avatar is about to, they're strapped, they got their backpack, they got their sword, they're gonna go on this journey, and you're gonna shake their hand and give them a hug before they go. Be like, I'll see you at the finish line, or I'll meet you halfway, right? This is the pact that you're gonna make with them. How will you communicate the bonded agreement that you and your avatar are going to be sharing? Your service agreement explains in detail what they can expect, the cost of abandoning the journey, how you will be supporting them along the journey, and all the value they'll be carrying with them as they journey on toward the destination that they've asked you to help them get to. Key phrase. Let me see. Who can I talk to? Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Love your energy, Lisa. Lisa, out of this entire thing, which is the thing that I want to highlight the most here in this paragraph here, this right here?
I think what they can expect.
What they can expect?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do Emil. Is that correct? Or Emily? I have really bad eyes. I'm sorry.
Emily.
Emily, hey, which is the
Hey.
part that you think is the thing that really determines the pact here?
In my case, it would be how I'll be supporting them along their journey.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's do Chris. So when you see this paragraph here, what pops out to you as like the thing that makes the pact really stand out for you?
Well, I feel like I definitely want to know everything that I'm receiving um in the offer. Like I think that's kind of like the biggest thing. I'm interested in the cost of abandoning the journey because I figure that's more meant to be like a pain point as far as, you know, how it's going to impact them if they don't. But I'd also want to get really clear on like, yeah, what it looks like when they've reached the destination so they can have something to really um, look forward to and already kind of feel the resonance of, so can start to like work themselves into that.
Sweet. So you guys are all right. Thank you so much for your contributions. So always remember that your service agreement, like the only reason this whole thing is happening is because they've asked you to help them achieve this goal. Most people forget that the psychology of sales is somebody's actually asking for help, right? Usually it's backwards. We feel like we're chasing people, right? We feel like we're chasing people, trying to convince people to hire us, right? Well, when my core values align with her core needs, suddenly I'm not chasing anymore. Suddenly she recognizes the value of my commitment. And then the offer is a representation of my commitment. So they're asking us to help them get there, right? So on the next pit on the at the bottom here, you'll see click to download a sample service agreement. So all the clickable stuff in the workbook is clickable. So that I've given you guys access to like so many of my free workbooks that I give my clients. So use those, okay? Because when you see the service agreement template, you can make it your own. Okay. So there is the list of like all the different elements that you can include into a service agreement. Okay. And when you click that link to the Google Doc, it'll show you the whole layout as well. Okay. In case you guys want to upgrade your service agreements. All right, friends. Last step, the packaging. So this is where you, as the coach, Sherpa, or guide, help prepare your avatar with the armor to go out into the world and begin their journey. What are you going to say to your ideal client to help them trust you to invest in your support? Okay, so this is the packaging, onboarding, and messaging that you use to package your offer as you prepare it to go to market. Okay, so this is essentially the message. What do you want them to know? So some people call this like an elevator pitch. I call it a client clarity statement. And we did a sample of it in the beginning, which, for example, Tiffany said, I help people who are who are the first in their family to break cycles in all aspects of life. Ancestral healing is the core work I do. Then we move into creating the life they desire from that healing work. That's her message. I'm not going to judge, measure, or change anything about that because I'm not an expert in messaging. But if you guys can get someone to nail in on your message is what's going to be the primary differentiator between someone that messages you and saying, hey, I love what you're sharing, and someone that doesn't, right? I love how you show up in the world. They might like your energy. Your energy is one thing, but then there's your message. What is the consistency of that message, right? So, for example, a clear message about your offer, a professional onboarding experience, a brand aesthetic, your digital product packaging, the consistency with your message, and testimonials and social proof. Okay? So, with that, if we were to like look back at which area is the area where you feel like you have to put the most amount of attention on, I'm just going to go back to the timeline. Just share it in the chat section. Which is the area that you're just like, okay, this is the area that my offer, like I could really use some love and attention on. Is it the value? Is it the proof of concept? Is it the benefits and outcomes? Is it the pricing? Is it removing the risk with the guarantee? Is it the pact, the service agreement? Is it the packaging? So just share it in the comment section. Which is the one? It's like, my offer really needs love in this specific area to make my offer ready to sell. The packaging. Okay. Teresa, what? Guys, we got Teresa Corazon in the building. Where you been hiding? You think that I shortchange myself on value? I share everything they get in terms. Yep. Value and proof, packaging, value, proof of outcome, packaging. Okay, cool. Well, now that you've highlighted like what it is that the offer needs, now you know to go out into the world and study the development of that specific thing that will help you package your offer, or look to somebody who specializes in this kind of work to help you essentially narrow that down, right? So that you can package this offer and have it as something that you're proud to sell. Now, how many people feel icky about the word sell? Just write in the chat section, like, ew, you know, it's like, ew, sell. I don't like it. Ew. Sell, right? So, oh, if you guys want to see my offers at work, so the packaging of these offers, here's 3 examples that you guys can click on in the PDF workbook. So I gave you an example of low, mid, and high, right? So I have my next masterclass, which is called Objection Prevention, which is happening in April. I have my one-on-one. I have like a 30-day container that I do. And then I have my membership, which is a monthly membership that goes on to a year, but this is just 1 month of demoing it. So when you guys click on those links, you'll see my specific offers and how I've packaged them using this exact framework so that you guys can see them at work, okay? Okay, so as a bonus, the closing checklist. So closing, ew, closing, sales, these are human beings. Closing is a process that has been overcomplicated. The truth is, how many of you guys like love to buy stuff? Just say I to yourselves. Like, I love to buy stuff, right? You love buying stuff. You love using your money, right? It's like, oh, I love to buy stuff. I just hate when they come and I walk into Zara and they're like, can I help you with anything? You're like, no, you cannot help me with anything. Are you trying to sell me something? Right? It's one thing to go into a store with the intention to buy, and then it's another thing to ask somebody to try to help you buy. It's like there's this like defense shield, right? Almost as if we're carrying a subliminal guilt that we're spending our money. Almost as if we're carrying a subconscious guilt or shame that we're spending money we shouldn't be spending. Almost as if the energetics of our own personal integrity related to money are actually causing us to actually feel bad about the way we spend our money, because we know that we don't make enough money to justify the spending. Almost. Hint, 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 right? Or feel pressured from their quota. That could happen too. Absolutely. So, but I don't think they get a quota at Zara. I shop at Zara all the time. I didn't know they get quotas. So the closing checklist is essentially a list of things that I invite you guys to talk about with the person that you're enrolling into your programs before you get onto an enrollment call. It's the ultimate pre-qualification questionnaire. So we're going to download the workbook in real time right now, and we're going to do this together. So check this out. The closing checklist. After the closing checklist, I'm going to hook you guys up with the social selling skills, and we're going to have enough time to do some Q&A. So we'll open it right up. So the closing checklist. So here's the long list. And then here's a short list. So ultimately, you want to know 10 things. Do they have the money? Do they have the time? Do they have the space and energy to take on this commitment? Do they understand the outcome you promise? Do they trust you? Do they believe in themselves? Do they believe in you? Do they like you? Are they aware of the process that you're going to guide them through? And have they expressed any resistance to the process that you'll guide them through? Okay. So ultimately, You want to just get to know these people. People you're building relationships with, you're just building a transparent connection with them, right? There's nothing salesy about it, right? Does the prospect have the money or access to money to invest in full, right? If they're expressing interest in working with you, just find out where they're at. Most people would just feel welcome to talk about it because, like you guys who love to go shopping and spend your money, they want to buy your program. There's a subliminal belief that we have to heal around thinking that people don't want to buy our programs. People do want to buy our programs. We don't have to feel inauthentic about what we're selling when we're speaking to somebody that is clearly invested into themselves. We are fortunate to be the person that gives them access to that value. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? Do you guys get that? Low key, love the art of closing more. Yeah, or feeling, yeah. Right? So people want to buy from you. But if you're not selling from a place of self-certainty, then energetically it feels off, right? So there's something really important that you guys get to become here, which is people that love your offer. Now, if you're poor in the area of lead gen, then there's something that is in the way of you communicating your offer publicly that relates to why you're not making money or the type of money that you feel like you deserve to be making, right? So we are actually so fortunate that we get to sell these offers, but there's healing that has to be done, okay? So the next thing is the social selling skills. So selling through Instagram stories is one of the most powerful ways to keep cash flowing your way every day. This PDF will guide you through a step-by-step process that will help you craft each story, upload it, and position it perfectly to inspire people to buy. Okay, so this is on behalf of one of my coaches. She's a G. She's mastered selling through Instagram stories. So you get access to her process there. It's an absolute gem. Okay. So before we go into Q&A, Tuesday, April 2nd, I'm doing another one of these masterclasses. So if you click on the link above where you see the masterclass, the one-on-one, and the membership, you'll be able to register for that. The prevention masterclass is all about what to say. Okay, so if you've ever heard, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have, I have to talk to my spouse, like any type of objection at all. If you've ever heard an objection, this is all about teaching you how to prevent those objections from getting in the way of somebody investing into themselves. Okay, so if you have those nerves that come up on a sales call, if you're nervous about selling, anything like that, this masterclass is definitely going to be for you because I've absolutely loaded it with the types of tools and scripts, quote unquote. I'm very loose on the scripts, but what to say internally so that it becomes a way of being, like just who you are, not something you're reading to try to convince somebody. No, it's like this is all heart-centered selling. Okay, that's how I teach heart-centered selling. Okay, you don't have to be robotic with enrollment conversations. And then role playing for sales, you'll see that as well inside of the membership, inside of the offer section, which is another way. If you're like more advanced and you're just like, Marcos, just tell me what to say, I don't want to wait till April 2nd, click on the role playing for sales option because then I can just help you one-on-one and we can take it from there. All right, my friends. So this is an opportunity. We have some time now. I finished right on time at 5:30, which is crazy. I was like, I want to give them some time to talk so we could work through some of the things that are maybe challenging you guys around your sales, around your offer, around your insecurities, your energetics around money, right? Anything at all in relation to something that popped out of you, a breakthrough, anything at all. The rest of this was intended to be specifically for me to just show up for you guys live and to support you the best that I can. So before we do that, I'm going to actually play a song to celebrate my life, my existence, my contribution, my commitment, and that I successfully completed this masterclass. So I'm going to play one of my favorite songs, and you're invited to just kind of chill out and breathe. I'll be reading the chat section. the chat section questions out loud so I can start answering them, okay? If you do have any questions you want to ask them in the chat, feel free. You're more than welcome to. And then after I'm done, feel free to unmute. All right, so Jackie says, what time will that be? The objection prevention masterclass is from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. It's a full day thing. Yeah, it's a ninja class. Yeah, there's 3 breaks, lunch break, 2 15-minute breaks. Like, it's a whole thing. The objections that people fit, like the whole thing about communicating how to speak on a call is a whole different thing, right? Than just theory, right? This was absolute fire. Thanks, Samantha. Samantha's the one who kind of nudged me into doing this. Question: if clients or prospects being found through social media and conversations being done through DMs, do you go through the checklist? Yes, 100%. Ella, you still here? Yes, you 100% go through that checklist. Okay, now it's not like you look at that checklist and it's like, do you have the money? It's not like that. That's not what we do. It's more just like so there's a theory that I consider, which is half the sale happens in what you hear, right? So each of you right here, if you were in an enrollment conversation with me to hire me to be your personal pocket coach for any of the things that I've taught you, and I recreated all the problems, pains, and desires that you told me you had, in me recreating that, there's a good chance that you'll feel so seen and heard beyond the pitch that your trust level for me will increase to the point where anything that I have to say about my price or how this all looks will automatically be accepted. Because in you communicating your pain, your problem, or your desire, I actually genuinely heard you. So half the sale happens in what you actually hear a person say and how you recreate that, how you repeat that to them when you talk about, so Ella, I totally get that you're in a place where you're exhausted because you continue to put your family before yourself. And now you don't have the energy to be able to take a stand for your self-worth in moments where you really feel like you deserve it. Is it money that's getting in the way? Is it the belief in yourself that's getting in the way? Or is it that you can't find somebody to take care of your children during the times when you and I would be inside of this container? Do you see what I did there? So I brought in the potential objection about money while framing it around what she already told me are things that are getting in the way of her, right? So when we think about the 10 questions in the closing checklist, time, energy, space, do they like you? It's like, okay, well, you don't have to ask, do you like me? But you'll know inside of a rapport building conversation if you guys are vibing, and you can say something like, I don't know about you, Samantha, but I'm having one of the greatest enrollment conversations that I've ever had. And I feel like you and I have connected on a whole different vibe where if this becomes the type of container that you and I are going to share, I have a feeling that both of our lives are going to become so much better. Do you agree? Oh my God, girl, I love you. You're amazing. Right? Like, I'm having some of the greatest time. I've never felt so heard in my life. Has anybody ever heard that in making an enrollment conversation? I've never felt so heard. I've never felt so seen. I've never felt so understood. So when you're talking to people, yes, you're collecting data because you're a professional and you have to be very responsible with the responsibility that comes with handling somebody's time, energy, money, trust, vulnerability, right? We have to be very responsible and professional in that regard. However, if you can talk to your warm leads as your friends, these are your people. These are community. This is tribe. Together, our reality is beyond epic tribe, right? That's a very important process. You're welcome, Echo. Thank you so much. So, Ella, clear on how to weave through the closing checklist? Yeah, so that it's just not hard selling. So do you have the money? Do you have the money? Right? Like, we don't do that. We don't do that here. Okay, next up. Vasag, let me know how to pronounce your name, please, if you're still here. Curious to know what motivated you to offer this incredible session to us. So I did a podcast with the Fortune 500 CEO on Thursday, and he interviewed me, and I taught him all this on the call. And he messaged me after the call, And he's like, brother, brother, that was one of the greatest trainings I've ever been to. And I've been to a lot. Why are you not selling this? Why is this not all over the world? I was like, I don't know. So I did it. So somebody challenged me because I went live to try to talk about the things that I talked about on the podcast. I went live on Facebook and nobody showed up. And then I made a post being like, guys, nobody shows up when I go live. What's a guy got to do? And then somebody messaged me, Samantha, and she was like, hey, why don't you just do a masterclass, like post it on Eventbrite and do it. So I did. And here we are 4 days later. So that's why I did it. Samza, do you think a discovery call is necessary for every offer, or is a detailed landing page enough? So Samaza, sorry. I have never had a website or a funnel or an ad campaign or anything to send somebody to other than a quote unquote discovery link to have a qualification call. And that's how I made my 2 million in revenue. I've never had any public credibility. Okay. Never. Because I was always lazy and multi-passionate and highly sensitive and all these things that I would change my mind all the time around what I wanted the copy on the website to say. So in my experience, that one Calendly link with 3 to 5 questions to help you prepare for the call is more than enough. That paired with a social media presence that adds value and builds trust is more than enough for you to start making sales. Okay. Now, energetically, who you are on the call, who you are in preparation for the call, what you say on the call, how you navigate objections on the call, how you build rapport in the DMs on the, that's all a completely different thing, because those skill sets are necessary for you to get on that call and create that genuine connection. Okay, just make sure that this goes to everybody. Make sure that the discovery call, it has 3 to 5 questions. Talk about your budget in that, because you never want to enter a conversation with somebody where it's a showdown, which is like, so you're going to get this, and 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 it's $7,000. What do you say? These people feel attacked, right? It's like, you guys you want to start, and then suddenly everything that you said building up to that price, it's like it's out the window. It's like, oh, so all that was about the money then, right? It's like, no, it's not about that, but and then you got to explain yourself. You got to justify your rates when somebody gives you objections related to the price being out of their budget. Why not find out if they want to have a conversation about enrolling into the program you've been promoting online? Because the reason that they want to get on the call is because you did such a good job with your social media strategy to talk about the program that they're inquiring about. Right?
So would you disclose the price in those questions, or?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So find out their primary problem, right?
Got
So
it.
this is all inside of the objection prevention masterclass, just so you know, but you're going to find out the primary problem, what hasn't worked in the past, where they see themselves in their future, your price, and something silly like, hey, what do you want to be celebrated for? Right? And then when they book the call and you get the email, and guys, there's nothing greater than seeing a qualification email where it's like, our programs start at $10,000 and up. And do you have the money? Yes. They check that off. And then you get on this call being like, I get to have a conversation with a qualified lead that sees my value. Right? Like they interpret that I am worth that, and I get to show them how to feel safe to make the investment. Right? And then you literally include the bonuses and the guarantees and the benefits and outcomes and the assurances. These people are going to be like, I can totally see myself succeeding with your help. It's such a beautiful thing. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's great.
From a tech standpoint, I'm curious what platforms others are using to create a streamlined onboarding process. So I use Kajabi for all of that. And there are other platforms, definitely other platforms. Samantha, thank you so much. Echo, you're welcome. I'll be reaching out privately. Amazing. Hey, that's so cool. She said that publicly. That's awesome. Thank you. Teresa, love you so much. Thank you. Emily, thank you. Samantha, was that? Bree, thank you. Wrote down a lot. Okay, cool. Daria, that's been my experience as well. Although I have a website, there are no public. Okay, but I would like to have. I have a question about creating a sliding scale price for high ticket offers. Hit me.
Well, first, what are your thoughts about having a sliding scale for high ticket?
I think it's
offered.
cool. I think it's great. I hate saying no to people because they can't afford it. It's like, oh, you can't afford me? Like, screw you. I don't like that. Like, dude, surrender. Like, you're being offered money here that's within the range that you have the capacity to be able to honor your own worth. How fortunate are you? Right? Like, what a blessing to meet somebody where they are.
Yeah, so my offer has been so far, it was at 6K and then I brought it up to 8K Canadian last year. And I found having the sliding scale has helped me sell, but also bit me in the butt in other times. The way I've started talking about it is like the value of this is 8K. And if you need help, like, and I would like to be there because I still feel good enough right now to deliver it at 6K. If I wouldn't, then I can't deliver it at that price. Otherwise, I would just be discouraged and my energy is going to go down.
100%.
And if you need help, additional support, this is the sliding scale, and I give it to them to decide. So I've had someone choose the lower, even though I know they have millions and like they could do the higher and tell me, if this goes great, like I'll give you like a bonus later. I'm like, okay. And I had someone just choose the highest.
So that is all
experience.
about positioning. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's about positioning. So because you gave him the option at 6K, he took it. And he made millions probably by being like that. Right? So if you positioned it at 8K, it's an $8,000 value, right? And then he's like, again, the situation is different. Like if it was 8K and he said, can you do cheaper than that? I would say, no, I can't do cheaper than that, but I can split it up into 2 installments for you. Right? So this goes for all of you. So when you talk about your price, right? Like if you choose to discount your rate as a celebration of somebody paying in full, you have my coach's approval for that, right? But if you're discounting your rate to try to make the sale, that's different. That may be a lack of integrity on your own worth. Okay? So just realize the distinction. A sliding scale between 6 to 8K, to me, it's a small scale, right? It's a small scale. So if you said to me, for example, prices range between 10 to 15,000, like a 5K scale, and it's like, I can meet you somewhere around the middle, like 12,500, then it's different, right? But again, like when you give somebody an option to go cheaper and they get the same amount of high value, then they're always going to choose the cheaper route. So be very careful with your sliding scale.
So would you only mention a sliding scale if the price is an issue? Because then I feel out of integrity because I'm like, oh, and by the way, instead of just being upfront about it.
I would say it again.
I feel out of integrity if I wait. Like, would you recommend waiting to hear if the price is an issue at 8K, let's say, and then mention the sliding scale?
Yes, but again, you should already know whether it's an issue or not in the conversation because you pre-qualify them.
Okay.
This is where we start having like healing conversations with ourselves and doing energy work to really just get comfortable with talking about money. Like when you guys write down the benefits and outcomes to your offer, it's like, guys, you guys are devoted practitioners that are literally pouring yourselves into these people. The value that you've put it on is something that you deserve to be proud of when you speak about it. However, the way that you pre-qualify is going to determine how safe you feel. You pre-qualify by having that friendly heart-to-heart conversation so that you learn about these people in a way where you don't have to feel inauthentic about asking transparent questions about how likely it is that they're going to be able to enroll in your program, right? There's something that you're hiding behind when it comes to you talking about your price. There's something that you're hiding behind when it comes to asking the questions in the closing checklist. I'm committed to helping you get to the core wound there because it requires some work, right? It does require some work. I wish I had another 2 hours. I would go on, but definitely just book a session with me if you want. But there's work to be done there if that's something that you struggle with. Should installments be monthly? Monthly installments are great. And what's getting really popular in the coaching industry is weekly and bi-weekly as well, right? So $200 a week, right? Or $200 every 2 weeks, right? And then with a no commitment, for example, right? Depending on the type of product that you have. So weekly is getting really popular. So you can try that on, but monthly is the average. I personally really enjoy 2 installments. Like It's like, for example, like for certain things you can't do installments. Like I won't do installments for like a $5,000. Like I don't want that. It's like 5K in full. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. I deserve it. One call with me can make you 25K. I deserve that. Right? Like that's just my understanding of what I'm capable of, especially if I'm giving them a campaign strategy. I'm in their pocket doing role playing. I'm doing all these things where none of my clients are ever alone. They're prospecting. I'm in their pocket telling them what to say. They're posting on social media. I'm in their pocket creating the content with them. They're on a sales calls. I'm in their pocket showing them exactly how to lead the conversation, right? Like my clients, for example, I deserve that 5K because that one session, that first week out of the 6 to 12 that we're going to have the potential to make them the money back in that one call. Right? So I appreciate the feedback. Can I say that I have definitely shifted a lot recently? I feel really proud and slowly I can feel the difference. I love that for you. Yes, I remember when we had that conversation. What else? Thank you, Daria. Okay, Jackie, go for it.
Okay, I have an experience share and it's turning into a question. A while ago, when I purchased a program from someone, she had parity pricing. She's Canadian and she had parity pricing. So it was, if you're in Canada, it's $3,300 Canadian. If you're in the US, it's $3,300 US. And I actually really appreciated that as a Canadian, because as you know, the conversion rate is so incredibly high right now. And I tested that with a beta program back in 2022. Same feedback from Canadians, like loved this, right? Felt so respectful. And now as I go to put my offers out there, it's, first of all, it's complicated on a back end system with Stripe, et cetera, because you can usually only choose one currency.
One currency, yeah.
If you have feedback on parity pricing, or I have colleagues who are in Canada and they're Canadian coaches and they just choose to charge in Canadian. And if you're American, you basically get a discount, right? It's basically on sale. And then I have coaches who are like, nope, it's US currency and that's it. And I'm concerned about that because much of my audience is Canadian. And if you're, if you're paying $3,000 Canadian, that's what, like 4,300 US now, or 3,300 US is like 4,300 Canadian.
This is a touchy subject.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject for a lot of people. I think a lot of coaches charge in US so that they could get more money. Right? And that pisses off a lot of Canadians because it's like, what the fuck? I'm Canadian. Like, why do I have to pay US prices? I'm not in the States. Like, what the fuck?
You live like an hour away from me, dude. Like, yeah, I get it. That's
so it might piss a lot of people off, right? That's number one. And if you guys agree, if it kind of obsesses you, share it in the chat section. I just want to know like a consensus. Does it bother you when you have to pay US prices when you're Canadian? If you're Canadian, okay? Because you do feel like you have to pay more. Absolutely bothers me, 100% bothers me. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's number one. So Kajabi by default charges US. When I created all my offers for this thing, I changed them all back to Canadian, right? For you guys, because I was like, they're Canadians, right? Like, why am I charging them in US? So that's just an ethical conversation to have with yourself. That's how I would respond to that, Jackie. Ethics. I think that what your friend did in matching the price is unbelievably cool. I think that's so cool. That's heart-centered.
It was like, I practice parity. If you guys are, I didn't really, it's parity, parity, because I had to look into it. I practiced parity pricing and I just thought, whoa, like immediately as a Canadian, I was like, yeah, for sure. Like I was like, it almost made the buying decision for me because I didn't have to like do math or think, oh my gosh, I have to add 30% onto this. And I know she's Canadian. And then there's that icky feeling. So I really loved that strategy. And I think it is actually a strategy.
It is a strategy for sure.
Yeah.
And it's an ethical strategy. But think about it this way. Did you guys know that you can't charge Americans tax? Okay. You can't charge Americans tax. You can't charge them 0.13% Canadian tax on a US.
You can't charge them GST, which is
you can't charge them GST. Right. But there's a lot of Canadians out there that are doing that. Right. Because they're just literally, they don't know what they don't know. Right. So think about it this way. If you're going to charge in American, then you're charging a flat fee. Right. I've done it in the past where I put 2 check boxes that says pay in US, pay in Canadian, right? And then just gives them the choice, right? So that's what I recommend about that, is give them the choice, but also be honest and don't rip your fellow Canadians off.
And if you are going to do that, and again, I have to like look into Stripe and other programs to see how that would work. But when I did it last year or in 2022, I just created 2 different PayPal links. Because PayPal,
That's what I mean.
it's
Like
easy to
create
do.
the 2 separate links.
Yeah.
Like I put it as 2 call to action, but create 2 separate links. All that works really well. Just be
Yeah.
honest, guys. Be fair, right? Just be fair, be ethical. Okay, so we got 7 minutes. So anybody want to come on and have a quick conversation, hot seat coaching, or should we wrap it up right here? Just share in the chat section and we'll take it from there. Thanks. Have a great evening. All right. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my masterclass. If you guys want to spread the word, tag me. You can work with me one-on-one if you guys feel inspired to. This was my pleasure. Click the links and bust a groove, you know? I appreciate you guys. Share one word in the chat section, a takeaway, a word. Thank you so much. Gratitude. I appreciate you guys. 3 pages of notes. I love that. Yes, I love you guys. I'll be reaching out to you guys one-on-one just to make sure that I did a good job. Love it. Love it. Core values aligned with core needs. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Tell a friend. Love you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome.